Hello, Senpai Recap is here. Please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you are always updated with our uploads. Harayoshi Kuga is a strong Onmyaji. However, he wanted to be stronger, and that led to his downfall. Because he got betrayed and got killed. Hence, he vowed to be reborn in his next life to be more cunning. And now he is reincarnated as Seika Lamprouje. The third son, born out of his father's mistress, is often ignored and left to his own devices. He doesn't have magic, but he has lots of spiritual power. Seika practices that spiritual power of his and puts up with cowardly bullies from his elder brother, Glai. One day, their father Blaze is teaching his sons magic, and Seika is given a chance to try. He uses some flame power to destroy the target and even changes the flame color. Seika lets known his intention to learn magic, but Blaze disagrees since there are no stories of powerless mages becoming successful. However, he will be given a private tutor like his brothers. Many years later, one night, Seika uses his power to open the door to another dimension. He is reunited with his familiar, Yuki, whom they knew in his previous life. For now, she takes the form of a little white fox to hide herself from the rest. Another day, Seika saves Yifa, the young maid, from being bullied by Glai. Yifa then takes Seika to an injured animal and hopes he can heal it. Seika then deduces that Yifa, too, can see spirits like him and teaches her how to hone that skill. This is to make her his ally. A year later, a giant fire newt attacks the place. Glai's first reaction is to run. Seika rushes to save Yifa, but it seems he notices she repelled it with her power. Seika then faces the newt and, in one powerful strike, kills it. Everybody sees this and is in awe of Seika. Seika is glad things turned out this way and hopes to build on this. All parts of the cunning plan. Seika receives an upgrade and is now treated like a noble. Blaze would like to reward him, and so Seika wants to go to the Ladonia Magic Academy to learn magic. He allows it, and as Seika also wants to bring Yifa along as an ally. Her power will be useful. Blaze disagrees at first because Yifa has no magic talent, but after Seika has her demonstrate, he agrees. Now that Glai disagrees with everything, Blaze says he will put Glai in the army. For many years, Glai has not improved and is only swinging around his sword. It is only fitting for him to join the army. Glai is unsatisfied and wants to challenge Seika for that right. Blaze will judge tomorrow's fight, which will not have weapons or magic used. But that night, Glai challenges Seika and screws rules. The loser will go tell his father tomorrow about forfeiting the match. Glai throws all he's got at Seika, but Seika is so powerful, and just by using his Onmyaji skills, he defeats Glai and makes him admit his loss in just seconds. Seika and Yifa soon leave for Ladonia. Blaze reminisces, "It has been 12 years. Seika is not his own son, but could be from his brother, Gilbert." A baby Seika was left at his doorstep. The ever-carefree Gilbert went adventuring right after graduation, but disappeared when he entered the Demon Lord's domain. He ponders if he is the child of a demon, but it can't be. There was no magic detected, but noticed other weird powers from him. Therefore, it is too dangerous for him to be in the army since his powers could either save or destroy the world. Yifa wants to visit Seika in his room at night, but he thinks it is for dinner, so she leaves. Yuki had to point out Yifa being in love with him, and the irony that a non-human knows the matters of the heart more than this dense kid. He straight up admits he doesn't understand girls. Outside the academy, there is a booth where one can test their magic aptitude to see which element one is closest to. Yifa seems to have fire and wind, and Seika has none. This makes the rest think he is using his connections to get in. Then a commoner, Amiyu, shows how powerful she is, as she has talent for all 4 elements. Amiyu claims she isn't doing it for him, but also hates people like him who use their connections to get around. Seika is interested in her. She looks like a girl from his previous life. The students are taking the tests. One of them being the magic practical. Yifa wows everyone with her display of a couple of elements of magic. Now that it's Seika's turn, he easily destroys the targets with his power, and everyone is amazed. In the end, Seika is ranked 3rd. Surprisingly, Yifa ranks 2nd. Unsurprisingly, Amiyu is at the top. As they head to the academy for the opening ceremony, Seika and Yifa spot a strange and ominous magic circle hidden in the bushes. Seika doesn't want to do anything suspicious for now. During the ceremony, lesser demons ambush the place, and everybody starts to run. The teachers can't do anything about those demons. Only Amiyu steps up to the challenge to fight. Seika notices the demons are sluggish, as though they're decoys or looking for something. As he searches, he finds the culprit controlling them all at the magic circle. Gul Galios is a demon who specializes in a few elements of magic himself. He sets upon Seika, but he can counter all his tricks. Seika trolls us by taking fatal damage and even getting killed. But those are just his Onmyauji powers, and so Gul reveals his intentions to find the hero at this academy. The prophecy 12 years ago rang true, and he is out to kill her. Now Seika shows who's the boss as he pulls out all the stops of his powers to fight Gul. Some lecture about the elements before Seika summons a dragon to devour Gul. The dragon tries to even escape, but Seika manages to command it back to the gate. Going back to the hall, Amiyu has single-handedly defeated all the demons. Seika then notes how being the most powerful means there are others who will try to drag you down. Hence, it is his goal to have someone be the strongest in his stead. That's why he is going to be friends with Amiyu and make her strong, even if he has to defeat the demon lord himself. Despite Seika's efforts, Amiyu has no interest in being friends. Seika and Yifa narrowly avoid being doused in demon blood by clumsy teacher Cordell. Amiyu and Seika trip a magic circle trap and are transported into a nearby dungeon. Amiyu is knocked unconscious by trolls, allowing Seika to freely summon a demon servant, the giant centipede, to kill them. Awoken, Amiyu is grateful for the help, but reveals she has a headache. Seika identifies this as a potentially fatal curse, which he transfers onto one of his talismans, saving Amiyu's life. Grateful, Amiyu is shown to have a lewd sense of humor and a passion for fighting that most people find disturbing, though Seika assures her that all passions have uses. After defeating the dungeon boss, they loot a mithril sword for Amiyu and a magic ring. After returning to the academy, Seika secretly confronts Cordell, who is revealed to be a devil's servant sent to assassinate Amiyu with a demon blood curse. Seika uses the substitute talisman to reflect Amiyu's curse back on Cordell, killing him. Seika gives the dungeon ring to Yifa, confirming it increases her control over spirits. Amiyu returns to treating Seika coldly, becoming friends with Yifa instead. It has been a year, and no demon has attacked the academy ever since. Seika and Yifa get called by the principal, as she wants either one of them to participate in an upcoming combat tournament at the capital. This academy has been given 2 slots. One of them is occupied by Mabel Crane. The final slot is either Seika or Yifa. Seika asked why Amiyu wasn't considered. The principal tells the truth. They are stronger than her. Amiyu feels insulted by that, and she's puffing a lot. So as they talk about it, Mabel shows up before them and claims Amiyu is weak, and that's the true reason she isn't even considered. Amiyu is not going to let that slide, and she challenges her to a duel. Seika agrees, as he wants to gauge Mabel's power. In the end, Mabel wins, as Seika notes that the kind of magic Mabel used was dark magic. Soon, it will be Seika and Mabel who are on their way to the capital. Yifa is following because she is his servant, and Amiyu just wanted to come without permission too. In the tournament, the first match is Seika against some mercenary. They include all kinds of people, aside from nobles and mages. Obviously, Seika defeats this mad guy in a blink of an eye. The next match witnesses another serial killer mercenary, Kyle, against a mage student. However, the latter gets frozen by some dark eye magic and is killed off. The crowd cheers for the tournament's first fatality. In the next match, Seika fights a golem user, whom he easily defeats. Then it's Mabel's turn, as we see her also easily taking out her respectable mage opponent. When everyone refers to Mabel as a hero, Amiyu explains to Seika that the second hero in history was also called Mabel. Seika now has an idea about the whole thing. Later that night, he captures a demon spy trying to send back a message to his employer. Since he will not talk, Seika uses his Ayakashi, which reads minds, to reveal all the details. It seems there are many who are targeting Mabel, whom they believe is the hero of the prophecy due to the same name, hair color, and right down to her birthday. Once done, Seika allows the Ayakashi to eat him as a reward. With this information, Seika decides to have Mabel, the false hero, win the tournament so that all the attention can be placed on her. This is to keep the demons away from Amiyu, the true hero. Because the spy and assassin sent to his school were disposed of by him. They were the only ones who knew about Amiyu as the true hero. They think Mabel is the hero. The next day, Mabel confronts Seika and wants him to forfeit his match. He refuses because they are slated to clash in the semi-finals, and if she wants to win it so badly, she must beat him. The other semi-final is Kyle and some heroes who can use all magic elements. He manages to prevent himself from being hypnotized by his dark eye magic. But none of his magic can even touch him. The judges added a new rule because Kyle was about to kill him, but the judges blew their whistle to signal him as the winner. That night, Seika narrowly escapes Mabel's attack as she tries to kill him while he is sleeping. Seika analyzes her power, and she is definitely strong. Mabel then escapes, and Seika believes this is just a trial run for their match tomorrow. Seika talks to Mabel, and she knows she doesn't want to kill him. She admits that, and it was just to scare him into withdrawing from tomorrow's match. Seika could also guess Mabel's goal to win the tournament so as to impersonate her as the hero and draw the demons away from Amiyu. But he needs to know the whole truth if she wants him to consider giving up. Mabel soon reveals her ultimate goal is to get killed by Kyle in the finals. Mabel was part of the mercenary group that groups young kids together, but only one of them will graduate and become a soldier by killing the rest. Kyle was chosen to be the soldier since he had an implant in his brain that changed his personality. After killing other members, Mabel is the only one left, and her death at Kyle's hands will complete this mission. However, Mabel plans to kill Kyle instead for revenge since her brother was killed by him. Seika knows she is lying because Kyle is actually her brother. After all, Kyle once told her to kill him and free him from this curse. Mabel has resigned to her fate, saying that she will die whether she wins or loses. Seika has decided to defeat her and face Kyle in the finals. He guarantees her safety as long as she enrolls at school. With him around, nobody can touch her. He is the strongest. Besides, if there was a wish from Kyle, it wasn't to kill him, but for her to live freely. The next day, Seika easily defeats Mabel to proceed to the finals. Seika and Kyle chat for a while before they fight. Seika hopes he will cherish his sister since she's the only one he's got. They fight, and Seika is obviously stronger. Too bad Kyle's curse activates, and Seika tries to save him, but it's too late. He gets desperate to use his powers as Yuki reminds him of his goal in this world and that he has no obligation to do so. In the aftermath, Seika sealed his body away and told others he vaporized him during the match. Seika and Mabel pay their last respects at his makeshift grave as Seika delivers Kyle's last words to her. Seika then tells Amiyu and Yifa most of this. Amiyu requests to fight Mabel again, and this time she wins. Back at the academy, Seika confronts the principal and knows it was her plan all along to plant Mabel in the tournament as Amiyu's decoy from demons. As she belonged to the mercenaries, it is why she chose Seika to go defeat her so that she would have a place in the academy. The mercenaries were using the tournament to market their products. They have lost both of their soldiers now. It's a win-win for them. Seika won't have any more hand in this, but she makes him take care of Mabel since she needs some time to get used to this school life. Prince Cecilio Astilia comes to personally see Seika at the academy. When he first sees Yifa, he instantly wants her to join. Even if she is Seika's slave, he'll pay any amount for her. But it's business first, as Cecilio needs him to help investigate the nation's dragon as requested by his father, the king. The dragon, who has lived peacefully with humans, has started acting strange over the past year. Attacking crops and cattle, each attack worsens by the day. Then there is this shady legend that the dragon was hatched from an egg by the kingdom's queen. Seika is to investigate this matter too. When they arrive at the palace, the dragon attacks them. A mercenary named Zekt uses his lava tiger to scare it away. However, it soon attacks Yifa, but Seika saves her. Cecilio claims he hires mercenaries because he believes the only way is to kill the dragon. Seika hopes he will rethink his decision since the dragon is this kingdom's symbol. Cecilio claims he has full authority on this matter. Seika then goes to scold Yifa for not using her magic to defend herself. He can't always be around to protect her. Seika then goes to the library to research more, but the shady legend doesn't reveal much. Hence, he will go to the mountains tomorrow alone. That night, Cecilio calls Yifa to his room. Unsure what to do, She confides in Seika. She doesn't have to go if she doesn't want to. So she shares his bed when he asks if she considers joining Cecilio. Yifa took that the wrong way and is sad to think Seika views her as a hindrance. This was not his intention, and what he meant was that eventually everyone needs to choose their path. Later, Yuki tells Seika he was too harsh on Yifa and reminds him that the girl has loved him since he was young. He brushes it off, saying that they just grew up together. The next day, Seika talks to Cecilio about Yifa. He won't sell her, and if Yifa wants to go, it must be by her own volition. Then he goes off to the mountains alone. Later, Cecilio's elf maid, Lies, talks to Yifa about joining the team, because it seems Yifa has elf lineage too. She must have noticed by now that Seika is a monster. Yifa continues to believe in Seika, but Lies thinks she's just taking the easy way out and refusing to think. After Seika defeats the dragon, he notices a dragon's egg. Strangely, the dragon has him take care of it, and now they're like buddies, and the dragon won't let him leave its nest. Meanwhile, Lies shows Yifa around the girls. This entire all-girls school trains women to be future politicians. Once the tour is done, Yifa is brought to Cecilio, who once again wants her to join his team. He will even pay as much as Seika wants, and if that doesn't work, he will use his authority to conscript all slaves. Yifa doesn't want to be freed because, despite being Seika's slave, she is still free to do what she wants. The rest think she doesn't think too far into the future, so they're gonna force her to sign the deal. Seika returns with the dragon and needs someone with fire magic to warm up the dragon's egg, and that's Yifa. Soon, they are attacked by Zect, who is the one orchestrating the whole thing and lying to Cecilio. His goal is to steal the egg. Seika owns them with his power as well as Yifa's assistance. Later, Seika explains to Cecilio the whole deal. The dragon was behaving erratically because it laid an egg. The story about the queen hatching the dragon egg is true because the dragon considered humans to be its parents and hence repaid its favor to protect the kingdom. However, Cecilio panics and still wants the dragon killed, as he needs some achievement to prove himself as the next king. With Seika refusing to kill it, he orders his arrest. Seika is about to play along with this, but when Cecilio is seen forcing Yifa to be his, that's when he puts his foot down to tell him off that he has not solved anything and is acting like a child. Lies then tells Cecilio to give up since she has clearly rejected him. Then she talks to Yifa privately and hopes she will find happiness, as one day he will recognize her feelings. Now we see a group of cruel weirdos annihilating a village with their bizarre, strong powers. Their leader claims they must defeat the hero at all costs, even sacrificing their lives if needed. Amiyu is shocked when Seika invites her to come home to meet his family. As the gang returns home, Glai wants to fight Seika. Although he is having a blast in the military, he still can't forget about that humiliation and wants to fight Seika. Seika, however, has Amiyu fight him since she is stronger. Beat her, and he'll fight him, but Glai easily wins. But the match is stopped with the arrival of the Holy Princess, Fiona Erdelegrave. She is the one who wants to see Amiyu. Seika and Yuki exchange notes on Fiona's history. She was born between the Emperor and Temple Priestess 15 years ago. She bears both the royal and priestess bloodlines. Fiona talks to them and is impressed to see Amiyu, and she will assist her in anything if she requires help. Despite sounding like a dreamer and a bit ditzy, in some ways she sounds scheming and teasing. The next day, Seika, Amiyu, and Glai accompany Fiona to town. She talks about how to get close to someone when a falling timber is going to crush Fiona. Glai and Amiyu use their skills to protect her. Everything's safe, but is there something to it? As Seika notes, Fiona seems disappointed that he didn't do anything. To soothe her heart, he buys her a hairband. Back at the mansion, Glai reveals to Seika that he was chosen to be Fiona's holy knight, not based on skill. In fact, the title of Holy Princess and the like were created and spread about by her, so that others, like bards, could easily write songs about her. In short, she is a politician, even if she doesn't look like it. It is because she possesses the ability to see the future, and she inherited it from her mom, who once spoke about the prophecy of the hero and demon lord after she was born. However, the Empire doesn't know who they are. Glai is telling him this because Fiona's real intention is to see him. He warns her not to get too deeply involved because she's got an eye on the Empire's future. Seika avoids Fiona, cautious that her future visions may cause problems. Later, he relents and plays chess with Fiona, who wins even though she willingly played with fewer pieces, and as her prize, he asks Seika for a future favor. From her play style, Seika learns she doesn't support the current political system, and is purposefully making herself popular with the general public. Seika decides to support her. Elsewhere, the demons defeat a group of bandits and eat them, revealing their identities: Zor the devil god, Mudarev the strongest ogre, Lonai the monster tamer, Pieslaria the evil eye, and Golganes the devil. On their return to the academy, assassins disguised as bandits attack the carriages to kill Fiona, but with Seika's assistance, the assassins are captured alive. Fiona had foreseen the attack and will use the assassins' confessions against her political enemies. The assassins await help from their reinforcements, but Fiona has foreseen the reinforcements being eaten by the demons. Fiona arrives home and cryptically asks Seika to remember that no matter her actions, she is always by his side. Zor regrets having to hide from his team. Their goal of killing the hero is almost certainly a suicide mission. The principal wants Seika to represent the current student body and welcome new students. He accepts the role, and later, Yuki asks if this is okay because it will make him stand out. Seika claims he was once afraid of dying like his last life. It made him a coward. He thinks he is so overpowered and nobody can defeat him. That's why he is done with that and is going to lead a normal life. He doesn't need to use Amiyu as his shield now. Yuki is confused and worried. The demons warp inside the school to slaughter the students and bring out the hero. They find a strange red mist everywhere. They start killing students who come by but feel something amiss. The first fight is between Mabel and Murderev. The latter takes a liking for her because she is strong. He is superior and could have killed her had Seika's Shikigami substitute not saved her. When the demons converge, they are confused because, when they attacked the students, they realized this Shikigami substitute. Then Seika pops up before them and explains what happened. The exception was Mabel, as she was real. As Murderev brags and wants to fight her some more, suddenly Seika decapitates him. They detect him as the demon lord. Pieslaria is so pissed that she tries to use her evil eye to turn Seika into stone. His white snake familiar makes her evil eye go mad, and she gets a heart attack. Lonai tries to tame his snake, but gets eaten alive. Zor realizes they cannot defeat him and wants Ganes to escape to tell his brethren what happened since he is the only one with teleporting abilities. Zor sacrifices himself for that, and although Ganes escapes outside, it won't be long before he dies from a lethal gash on his chest because of Seika's voodoo magic for that. Seika and the rest are at a party after his speech for new students. Suddenly, knights barge in and confront Amiyu. She is accused of slaying a demon emissary, and that is a grave crime against the Empire. She will be arrested. Seika tells Amiyu to go quietly with them, and he'll do something about it. Later, he confronts the principal about this, and she mentions some complicated politics behind all this. But she is applying pressure to get Amiyu released, so just sit back and wait for the good news. But that won't do for Seika, as he somewhat threatens Amiyu might die while waiting. Seika is going to take this into his own hands as he summons his dragon to fly there. Yuki is worried because she believes it is best he let Amiyu die, or else the same mistake will be repeated in the past. Seika tells her to shut up, and here Seika is, barging into the prison castle whatever and killing all the guards with his Onmyauji power. Amiyu is shocked to see him here as he explains that she is the reincarnation of the real hero from the past. Some fear that, which is why some want her killed. Soon, they are confronted by Glai and Fiona. She has seen all this coming. Her reason for Amiyu being killed is that they were once a small nation conscripting people to fight demons until the hero came along. Now both humans and demons have armies. Hence, the hero and the demon lord are just relics of the past, and they alone cannot conquer nations. The existence of the hero itself can start a war. Fiona adds the damning statement that Amiyu will never attain the true power of the hero because of Seika. It's her fault for always protecting her, and she has never gone through hardships. Fiona promises to do everything she can to save Amiyu, so Seika should retreat for now. She wants to use the promise from the chess game to get him to abide, but sadly, he doesn't trust her, and this makes Fiona sad. And so she prepares a carriage for them to head home. Seika feels so bad he didn't keep his promise, So the least he could do is revive all the dead guards and repair the place. Fiona was not amused because she was going to report a powerful demon attack. Later, Fiona communicates with her father, who is unsure about Seika, whom he senses as quite powerful. She says he is this generation's demon lord. The irony is because why is a demon lord protecting the hero? Because she is close to him. She believes Seika has no choice but to use his power to help others, even if he knows he will be destroyed in the end. Seika and Amiyu return and happily reunite with Yifa and Mabel. Thank you for watching till the end, and please don't forget to subscribe. See you next time, and peace out.